Can I start?
Yes, you can.
First, thanks to the university for giving me this opportunity to participate in this conference. And I wish that, and I hope that you will find some value from this presentation. Technology trends for digital business and innovation. Now it's not just a subject, it's in reality, in life. And in this presentation, we will highlight on the technology trends. We will look at a highlight on business digital transformation, the impact of digital innovation. Then we will have a success story, an example in ransom handling, digital innovation journey since 2019 until today. Learned lessons, then we will close the presentation and we'll open the discussion. It has to be linked all to Oman Vision 2040 because this has to be the center stone for all of the initiatives that's coming towards the next generation in Oman. Why is that? Because this vision it empowers the Yes, sorry, something appears that have been wrong. We'll carry on. Yeah, I was saying that you don't see the information technology or the digital innovation in the priorities, but embedded and empowered in all of the priorities. Similar to that, when you come to the targets cannot be achieved without, and as we see it today, cannot be achieved without being empowered by information technology and the digital trends for the coming years. When we talk about the digital innovation, it has to come from the history. The history comes from the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started centuries before today, but all of it is built over the other. Each technology, each innovation, or each industrial revolution, it builds its technology over the technology of the successor. Until we reach in the 20s the third and the fourth revolution industry, which came with the information technology and digital platforms and digital innovation. This is what we know today. This is what we know to do today from the applications that came from the fourth industrial revolution of information technology and its applications. We know today that there are four industrial revolutions, but what will be in the fifth, God only knows. But we can anticipate that it will be most part of it will be empowered or powered by digital innovation. In this slide, you can see a historical progression of information or in the digital innovations, and with highlights in high level in some parts of the timeline. You can see the augmented reality, the autonomous cars, the robotics, lenses, and you can see drones. But all of the advancements all of these advancements since 2010 till today, it's been possible because of the growing capabilities that we have today in the infrastructure and hardware. Concepts like machine learning, AI are there since the 50s, but we did not see real applications, especially for the citizens. We did not see real applications in the real life until 2010, where all of these technologies start to boom because of the advancements in the capabilities of the hardware. If you can relate, before 2010, we used to have super machines to run complex activities. Now, the same complex activities today, you can run it in a cell phone. Same complex activities, you can run it in a cell phone, and in maybe in a very reduced time, more than 10 or 20% less than the time that it used to take in a super machine. So this is the advancement that we've seen in the technology. In this presentation, I will refer to Gartner. Gartner is a very well-known and reputable knowledge house, and their predictions were proven to be more realistic. Now, in the coming 5 years, technologies like AI, augmented reality, digital twin, low-code applications will be booming. We can see their predictions from 3 to 10 years, 3 to 8 years. Some of them even more very close in the yellow. Some of them are reality today. Lots of people are using them. Low-code applications, for example, it's a platform where you can develop systems, enterprise-scale systems, without even adding a single line of code, because it's a very low code. You can plug and play, and then you can publish it in a web platform, a mobile platform, iOS and Android. The time scale to develop a system compared to the conventional way of developing a system, it's 4 times or 5 times reduced. So if you have a project to develop, for example, to develop a web page that will take 6 months from you, using low code, it might reduce the time to 1 month, with all of the complexities that it has. All of the complexities like integrating to other systems beyond the boundaries of your organization. Deep neural networks, there are lots of applications also. Advanced computer vision, it's booming also because with the advanced computer vision, lots of tasks, as we will see in this presentation, can be achieved. With all of these technologies, we have wealth of data. Now, before 2010, you can see the amount of data being generated is it's booming. It's more than 149 times more. And it's scaled in zettabyte. And if you don't know the zettabyte, it's in your right hand in the presentation slide. A kilobyte compared to a zettabyte, you can judge. And this one, with what we're saying, it's more than 149 zettabyte created per minute. Because of all of this amount of data, data science and machine learning find lots of applications. And linked to the data science and machine learning comes computer vision, where the computer vision can analyze computer feeds, computer, CCTV feeds, and then it can extract information from the CCTV. It can analyze human gesture, for example. It can analyze tasks, and then it can trigger tasks or trigger activities after it for the operation or for the companies to design it the way they want. Now, all of these technologies help in reducing the operation cost. An example from the left-hand side that we can see the cloud applications. Now, from the cloud applications, if anyone wanted to invest in the AR, augmented reality cloud, for example, the investment will be massive. But a cloud in AR that is shared in the cloud, and the organization can only utilize the features or the capabilities from the cloud, will reduce the cost, and then will make the organization harvest the benefits of this technology with minimum investment, because the investment will be shared between all of the users, between all of the beneficiaries. And these all of the examples now. From the data science, become business intelligence. At the business intelligence level, you can learn from the history and you can report. You can say, for example, in 2020, our performance was like that. We made this such of millions. But when you add the analytics, the machine learning to the business intelligence, then you will be able, that will add the future vision, the future prediction. Then you will be able to predict the future. Because of that, machine learning and AI is one of the future technologies that will be empowered for more benefits for the organizations. If we mapped it to Oman, there are lots of organizations. They started this path today. They started the path today to utilize the similar technologies. Low code, for example, low code. There is an investment from the government. One good example is Ministry of Health. They had an enterprise system developed in low code, and compared the project timeline, and the cost of investment was very much reduced. IoT as platforms also. There are lots of investments in oil and gas, and maybe in the coming weeks or soon there will be announcement of a new center of excellence for IoT platforms. Now, having all of this data and having the technology on the edge. On the edge means not in the server, but in the hands of the user, similar to the IoT devices for creating smart house or smart city or smart factory or smart economy, made it very attractive because there will be less latency in the responses between the devices in the IoT and the actions that these devices can do. For example, controlling the weather, controlling the or predicting the weather for in a city will be more accurate when you have lots of IoT devices embedded in all of the city. Now, considering that we have in Muscat, for example, we have lots of areas covered by the fifth generation of the telecommunication, which works very much in a best way with these IoT devices, because it requires to be connected with the internet to refresh the data. When you have such technology, then there will be less latency in the response. Less latency in the response, in a sense, when you request, for example, when you post a request for a data, then the data will be coming to you more faster than having the old technology, where it has to go to the server, run the query on the server, wait for the response from the server, and then there will be the delay in the network. Now, technology on the edge, it's much faster. So these are some of the technologies that are for the future, for the near future. A map technology for the trends, the digital twin for the person. Digital twin, a digital citizen, it's a booming trend for the coming 5 years. Augmented reality is again similar to the digital meme, but for the augmented reality today is being used for lots of applications. For example, in maintenance and training, where the employee or the expert will be connected to groups of experts around the globe in virtual environment, where they can exchange knowledge and they can perform tasks remotely. One famous example about it, the surgery operation, the medical surgery operation that can be done by experts in the world, top experts in the world, in one part, let's say in the United States, and the patient will be in another part of the world, let's say Australia, for example. So the medical doctor will not need to travel all of the way through the half of the world to perform a surgery. Through this technology, he can do it from his place, and by that he will reduce the time to perform the operation, and maybe he will be able to save more lives in instead of being on the air to catch the surgery operation. AI, artificial intelligence, is the main umbrella for all of these technologies. Machine learning and machine interface are also booming technologies in the coming 5 years. Now, predictions is 2 to 5 years. Some predicts 5 to 10 years. But with the pandemic, with what we've seen in the last year, because of COVID-19, lots of these technologies were expedited. Some of these technologies we used to think it's very far to be in reality, but today, because of what the COVID-19 forced the people, their lifestyle, adoption of these technologies was faster, and because of that, lots of these technologies are even closer to the hand of the users than was expected previously. Now, from all of these predictions, there are opportunities to students in college. Opportunities in sense future jobs. And if anyone is interested in entrepreneurship, there are opportunities also to start your own business, your own startup company. So you have to think it. You have to think ahead 5 or 10 years. What will be the technology that people will adopt, and then maybe you can adapt your profile and your skills to match what's needed, what's required in the market. Another thing, we used to think that working on-premise is the only option. Today, here in Oman, we have lots of people change their career to work remotely. Because of the pandemic, lots of people lost their jobs, their physical jobs. And there was lots of options for them to work remotely, to work through platforms. One example is test.io, where it enables the users or employees, as they say, to log in to this platform, and they will be getting tasks to perform them, to test solutions yet to be published, and they will be paid accordingly. So these are different options that the pandemic affected our life and expedited the adoption of technology. That adoption, we can see it here today in this survey. We can see that 83% of CEOs who were involved in this study, they said that their top initiatives, top investment is in digital capabilities and information technology, which is an indicator now. It's an indicator that people are moving to digital platforms more. Before COVID-19, who would not have a conference like this one through a platform like this one, like Teams, for example. It will be physical, face to face. But today we are more open to have similar conversations. Before COVID, it was prohibited to have platforms because of cybersecurity concerns. Today, that's possible. Cybersecurity concerns still valid, but people adapting the technology, and they are giving more trust to the technology. And in the other side, technology companies also, they invested to make their solutions and their platforms more secure. So this is the culture shift. This is the culture change. This is why people are moving and adopting new technologies. In a college of similar to your college or your university, I mean, this is how people should think. And this is the future. This is how people will be expecting the future. So the students have also to think this way, in a digital, more digital. An example to link you to the reality, and maybe some people would say that all of these are theory, all of these are not linked to the reality. When we come to the reality, we will be hit by lots of constraints. Now, in 2019, we had a study with a partner called A.T. Kearney, which is a well-reputable knowledge house also, to conduct a digital maturity level for transom handling, which the name of transom handling was ground handling, as you see in the left-hand side. So our digital maturity level was in a beginner level. Through the years 2019, 2020, and today we are 2022, we invested a lot in the technology, and now today we have state-of-the-art technology implemented in the company in transom handling, ground handling. So we upgraded our digital maturity to this level. The first project, vehicle tracking, it's a direct application of Internet of Things. It's an Internet of Things powered technology where through it we can control and manage all of the moving vehicles in the apron in the airport. The contracts and billing system is a state-of-the-art automation billing contract and billing system where all of the processes, all of the work in the operation A to Z automated in this system. What the operation team used to do manually and used to have 10, for example, of employees to do it, now they are doing it automatically through the system. The time that they used to spend doing the job sometimes reach 30 days to finish a task. Today it's been done in a click of a button because of the automation. Resource management system, it's another system where we'll see an application on top of it, will link you also to the augmented reality and to the computer vision applications. When we say computer vision applications, people they don't maybe they can't link to it. It can, let's say for example, we can identify or classify an image if it has cat or dog. This is the famous example. But beyond that, there are applications in the aviation. Here, all of these tasks being captured automatically without
Mr. Younis, we cannot hear your voice.
Sorry, to be honest, that someone kicked me out.
Okay, sir. Okay, so now we can hear, sir. Thank you.
All right, so we'll continue. Yes. Yes, this was the example of an application of computer vision and machine learning in the operation. Now, this is the first level that you see is a computer vision application where through a CCTV camera, we can capture the tasks and we can capture the operation of all of the tasks below the wing. Now, if you are familiar with the airport or the aviation tasks, we have tasks above the wing and tasks below the wing. Above the wing are tasks involve passengers. Below the wing, all of the other tasks that being performed for the aircraft maintenance around it. In this CCTV, it's capturing all of the tasks of the below the wing tasks from all of the aspects. The added value, there will be logs of all of these tasks in a system where all of these logs will be analyzed again by machine learning to enhance the operation, So this is another application which is in the pipeline to be implemented in Muscat International Airport or airports, but this is in our pipeline. Learned lessons. There are no shortcuts to success. Similar projects requires knowledge, requires hard work to be implemented. And sometimes you will need to depend on yourself because there will be no other example on the market. The return of ROI, the ROI, return of investment in the right digital innovation brings enormous values. Now, from the projects that we've seen, we invested a lot, but the return value of these investments for the next 5 years is almost 10 times the investment of savings. So it pays off. Digital transformation is not an option anymore, but necessity. For the future, for our students, we say that this is the future. Invest more in yourself, learn more about the AI, about augmented reality, about low code, about cloud. Stand up for yourself, make yourself distinguished. So when people in the market search, they will look at you. That's it from my side, and thank you very much. I think we'll open the floor for the questions. Dr. Mohammed.
So anyone, do you have any questions for Dr. Younis? Yes, anyone? Yes, Hamis, go ahead, please.
Unmute yourself. Unmute him. I will do.
My question, how do you expect the country to develop when it release on the internet, when it's not reported for internet?
I think I understood your question. You're saying that our infrastructure is not that stable. How will we how will we advance in the information technology? A very good question. Thank you very much. Now, lots of these applications doesn't require internet. Lots of these applications, especially if you are implemented it in an organization, then you will require an intranet, not an internet, which is a local network. This is one added value. The other thing, if we looked at the internet in Oman today, it's better than yesterday. Now, today in Muscat, we have lots of areas covered by the fiber, and it's covered by the 5th generation. For the remote areas, also there are lots of initiatives by the government led to cover all of these areas through the space internet. And there is a very good progress in that initiative led by Oman Investment Authority. Today, I think because of the pandemic, we've seen that students are across Oman. They suffered at the beginning, but then the network was provided to them. And everywhere in the wadis and in the mountains, everywhere. Now people has access to their digital learning platform. So I think there's no excuse saying that our infrastructure is not that solid. because I think today we are better than yesterday, and tomorrow we will be even better, inshallah.
Okay, thank you, Khamis, for your question. What about the others? Do we have any question? Yes, Al-Hassan. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Sir Younis.
Alaikum salam.
The answer is my side is digital transfer is reliable, and we know that cyber also it's growing up. The hacker and these.
Yes, is digital transformation viable? Yes. Now we have to say, for example, either we transform ourselves, or we remain the same without changing. There is a cost for remaining, and also there is a cost for changing, for transforming to digital platforms. It was said in the presentation, digital platforms from its side considered cybersecurity, and they added lots of advancements to secure these platforms. It doesn't mean that there are no hackers, and doesn't mean that there will be no hack attempts to these platforms and these solutions, and the vice versa. There will be more. But as hackers advance, also the crackers are advancing. As a software developer, and from your background, maybe you can enhance your abilities in strengthening your solution. Be it IoT, be it low code, you have to work on strengthening your solution to protect it from potential attacks. There will be a threat, of course, but it's not an excuse to remain without transforming to digital platforms, because with the digital transformation, there are lots of values. A simple example today, if, for example, the government is 100% digitalized, we will have less people in the streets, less traffic, and by that there will be less accidents, and for sure we will lose less people, and less people will die. Less people will die on the streets because of accidents, because they don't have to go to the ministry, such ministry or that ministry, to finish a paperwork, because they can finish it through a digital platform. This is one of the advantages that I can see, which is saving lives.
And also in another hand, that they are afraid from digital because they said they will lose their job. For example.
Yes. No, this is a general thought. Thank you, Al-Hassan, for this question. And this is a general thought. People think with digital platforms they will lose jobs. 20 years before today, we did not have programmers. No one lost his job, but there is a new job created, which is a programmer. 20 years from today, we did not have any system analysts. We did not have business systems analysts. We didn't have infrastructure engineers. We did not have all of these IT jobs. No one lost his job, but a new job was created. Similar thing. With new technologies, new jobs will be created. And he's saying that people will be losing jobs. This is not true, because now we're 20 years with the digital and information technology in Oman. At least in Oman, 20 years, we did not see anyone lost his job because of information technology. In fact, there were lots of jobs created for people because of information technology.
Thank you, Mr. Younis. This is from my side.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We have also a question from Khoile. Yes, go ahead, please.
Dr. Aulid bin Ali, you can unmute your mic and you can ask your.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Younis. My question is about the. Actually, I'm in the field of future technology and digital transformation, and the future of work. Unfortunately, we have exponential growth in technology, and we have a lot of jobs, as you mentioned, that are coming, but we don't see any upskilling exercise because, especially in Oman, I don't see any courses related to blockchain, courses related to artificial intelligence, edge computing, quantum computing. So how do we feel about this? We need an upskilling, activity to bring the people to the new technology and to the new jobs in the market.
Thank you, Walid, for the question. It's a very, very valid question and valuable one. And in truth, there are lots of programs led by the government for upscaling skills. One of them is the SAS program in Ministry of Transport, Communication and Information Technology. And other initiatives are led by other parties. There are initiatives led by the government, and people has to recognize these because they are in the ground. But let me say it in a different way. Now we have a very mature economy in Oman, or we're aiming, for example, to be in that level of maturity, where opportunities are given to the people who deserve it. People in the education level, and before graduating, they will need to identify opportunities of the future, and they need to work on themselves. It was proven that what is given for granted was not utilized to the best because people were giving this opportunity. I've seen myself lots of students. They are not giving their 100% work level when they are given this opportunity because it was given for granted. But when they are motivated to ask for these opportunities and to work on by themselves, then their outcome will be more outstanding in the level of outstanding instead of good. So this is my advice. We should not just wait for others to give us the opportunity. We should work on ourselves to upscale our skills. Last 3 months, there was at least this is the nearest one that I know. There was an announcement by Minister of Telecommunication, Minister of Transport, Communication and Information Technology for an IoT Center of Excellence. It's an investment, a massive investment from the government provided to citizens of Oman. Someone will need to make use of that investment. Another center of excellence is coming on the way for information technology, for artificial intelligence. So these are at least three initiatives that I know which are on the ground. If a person wants to excel and distinguish himself to get a better opportunity in the market, in Omani market or in the global market, then he will need to work himself. Is it hard? I think it's very simple. We have lots of digital platforms, learning platforms, which can upskill the person skills from 0 to hero in very short time. And in 1 month, he can learn lots of skills. You have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have edX, you have lots of other platforms and lots of these courses are for free. If he wants the certificate, then he will need to pay a very minimum amount of money. But I think if you ask me, the opportunity is there. If our people, if the students in the college wants to excel, wants to be distinguished, wants to have more value in the market, wants to be attractive to jobs instead of running to get a job, then they will need to distinguish themselves. And this is my advice to the students, to everyone. If you want to be, let's say, valuable in the market, people ask for you, then distinguish yourself.
Thank you very much.